What's up, YouTube? Codforman221 here, and welcome to another match from Season 6. We are playing as the Soviets, along with Lipton, Nick, and Jimmy. So Lipton and I are going to be on this side, Russian, Soviets. Kind of an interesting combination on the left side. Lipton will have machine guns for me, that's why you saw me destroy my support company and build instead a special weapon. What's it called? Special. It's been a while. It's played the Soviets. Yep, special rifle command. There we go. Now, I have to say, with the, when I'm the Soviets, having penals is just the way to go because you have anti-tank with them. They can throw their satchel onto vehicles, which is one of the most satisfying things ever to do in this game. Playing against them, it's a little overpowered, but it is quite fun. So our opponent is gonna not is one unit's gonna rush up and go after us here, going after our fuel. And Lipton would get killed at distance if his machine gun wasn't coming up. His men are in light cover, but it's directional. He's just messing with the machine gun. And it looks like he will actually point blank get these guys suppressed. And my men were right here to back him up. And so that squad is wiped out. That was a costly loss for our opponent on this side. Meanwhile, Nick is taking the hill here. And Jimmy is trying to support in the center. He's putting a little bit of cover for himself. And yeah, the Wehrmacht are, these are actually LKW we're fighting. We're fighting 3 OKW, 2 of them are on this side here. Now remember what I told you guys in one of my, I think I did one of these videos where I talked about strategy and tips. Press Alt on your keyboard and turn your mouse. You can see how many windows there are in a building. And he's got one window he's shooting at it with 5 guys. One window on each side, and there's no window here, so all I have to do is just move units in front of the house here, and they can't actually do any damage to you. And if he pops out, I'll be right in front of my men. And so, yep. Now we have kind of seeded the hill. We're fighting very heavily for our fuel right now, making sure we hold this. And I had Pinos come out try to take that hill here, but it's important that we're able to kind of dig in and make sure we can protect our own fuel here, because the fuel on this side is their fuel, and it is a little bit of a battle for it. The Vickers, though, is, I think, the deadliest machine gun in this game, because it kills infantry so quickly. I'm getting into a fight with my opponent over here, and high priorities are all my units are going to be shooting at these Storm Pioneers here. I'm going to try to get back a little bit into some cover. And now he's down to 1 man. That is risky with 1 man. And he's going to be forced to fall back. The Pinot troops will absolutely beat these Volksgrenadiers, no problem. They have the SVT-40s. So they have the semi-auto Russian rifle. And yeah, when he's point blank like this, these guys have Kar 98s. With supporting fire from my engineers and being up close and personal, they may actually kill my squad. We were kind of low on health, though. So, yeah, we were a little low on health. But overall, this squad's doing a good job. See, our opponents really don't have anything over here. They have 1 infantry squad, and we seem to have the advantage here. Nick and Jimmy are securing the other side here. I remember us playing as I think it was the Wehrmacht back when there's just so, I don't know, were the Americans out at this point? I can't remember. But I remember going against a Soviet player with Parsons, and he kept popping guys out of these buildings, and this is when Parsons were really overpowered. Must have been just the Wehrmacht and the Soviets. And it was absolutely brutal. And you could shoot these with tanks, I guess, but I was still I was more new at that time, didn't really know about partisans. You don't really see anyone use partisans. None of my bulletins, or none of my commanders have partisans. I can't remember which commander I go. I think I go for 85s here in radio intercepts. That's usually better to be taken earlier in the game, but I often wait to pick a commander until I kind of see the situation. So this one would be much better for if I had conscripts, a lot of them, but Penals are going to be my main infantry. Guard rifle or nice artillery could be nice. But I think it's pretty much between these two. Ooh, he's got stormtroopers here. Or no, these are the Jaeger light infantry. I don't really see people use his doctrine too much. He does have awesome, which is very good against infantry. So right now, if we look, it is still a 2v2 on this side, but it looks like pink might be shifting towards that side. They've kind of left us alone right now, so since they've done that, we obviously want to fortify our position on the left. We also want to help push in the center, because obviously one of our opponents is shifting. So red and pink are now shifting over to the right side here. And the captain actually beat that squad. That's nice. Very aggressive placement of this here. But he has all his whole army right here. The red players is in the center, and Lipton can't beat that one-on-one. I'm still expecting some kind of an attack over here. Now, if we had Fog of War on, if we didn't have Fog of War, you can see I'd be a little wary of the enemy maybe making another push here. We can't really see too much. But they now cut off our fuel. We're getting 36, which is excellent. I have a second squad out here that's going to start building some of the higher end buildings, like the battalion command, and then we also have the mechanized army company, which will allow us to get T-34-76s, 85s, Su-85s, and the Katusha. Something I've noticed in COH lately, in the last month or so, is you have to have artillery to win. Whether it's Katusha, infantry support guns, some kind of mortars, you have to have these to kill infantry. It seems like everyone now is getting a Katusha. You always want to, like Stuka, you need something. Lipton did some nice work over here with his Bren carrier. Nick is getting outflanked by red here. Jimmy is trying to reinforce, stop Nick from getting outflanked, but Nick is fighting hard for this hill here. It looks like we're going to sneak up with the anti-tank here. And then, yeah, I'm putting down some mines here, starting to fortify and bringing these guys over to the center. So Nick has a mortar out too. This structure is braced. They have a Luke's, which is very, very bad for Nick. That could probably kill all of his emplacements. So he's getting bombarded by two mortars over here. Purple is making a push. Red is running around behind their lines. And Nick is pretty screwed right now. He's probably going to lose this whole side. Meanwhile, there's also Luke's over here. Nick's other MG, he's going to lose his whole position. Even if he had an AT gun against that Luke's, I don't think it would have been enough. Jimmy was caught reinforcing back at his base here too. But we also have a Luke's over here that we got to worry about. I'm upgrading with my Pinot battalions to anti-tank here. I'm putting down barbed wire. I'm going to make this a very difficult position for my opponents to assault. If I had a bunker like the Wehrmacht does, I would absolutely put down a bunker or two here. So I'm trying to save my munitions to upgrade my Pinots with the PTRSs, the anti-tank package. But I also want to have enough to put down mines here because of the Luke's. This Luke's will probably, I guess we have the anti-tank right there. And by the way, if he gets close enough, I will absolutely use this ability. Throw Satchel. And there you go. Satchel is stuck on Luke's. And goodbye. Okay, he's almost dead. But the PTRS should finish him off. I also put a mine right here, so if they hop in the building, they basically get blown up. So that Luke's is now dead. Pretty easy to deal with the Pinos, especially when he's not really microing it too well. They're laying down mines here. They're definitely keeping us busy on this side here. This is good old-fashioned conscripts versus Volksgrenadiers, and we were in cover till they flanked around. Lipton now. How did he give his guy that? This is the tank hunting squad. I was gonna say, like, wait a second, how did he give his guy the sniper rifle there? Look at that thing, it's huge. So the Luke's wrecked Nick over here. He's gonna need to. He doesn't have too much of an army. He's gonna need to definitely. He has an AT gun out, which is good. Maybe even he's got plenty of fuel. He definitely needs to upgrade this and get out a Cromwell. A Cromwell will actually help a lot of his. Here's my tank over here. A Cromwell will definitely help out Nick counter the Lukes because a big tank beats a small tank. And my opponent is doubling down on the Lukes. Check this out. He's going to hit the first mine. He's going to keep going, rolling to the second mine. Boom! I was so happy. So I'm like, you know what? Okay. Putting down more mines here. Look at that flames. His tank got his kaput, as they would say. So that sucks. That's a lot of fuel for him, and he's lost both his tanks over here. The problem is he's falling out with infantry, and I was so close to finishing this, and they still got wiped out, even though I called the retreat. So yeah, the blob is over here, and I see that blob coming, and we need. That's our only victory point in our fuel right now. We definitely need to hold that. I'm shifting all my units from the center back over to this side because there's not a ton of defenses once they got through all that barbed wire. I have one squad over here. So my T-34 is going to be running. I can also get another one too. I think I'm setting up for the 85. And my T-34 76 is going to go right through the middle of the battlefield here. So purple's definitely, sorry, pink is in the middle here, so it's still 2v2 on the right side, 1v1 in the middle, and I'm holding the far left. And he's going to take this temporarily. That's fine. What's my tank doing? I think I'm trying to kill this AT gun here. Oh no, I'm helping out Lipton here for a second. Helping him take out this bunker right here. So I'll start targeting here. Heavy artillery is coming out. I'm not sure what side that is. But we are definitely making some gains in the middle here. The left side has fallen with the VP, so we are definitely down on VPs right now. This T-34, 5 kills actually. He did get Fausted though, so that is not good. I will try to cover Lipton's tank here. I have a second T-34 coming out. That's what I'm going to wait for a second T-34 and destroy this guy on this side with 2 tanks. I could probably win that fight. These units versus those guys though. I'm not trying to blob here, it's just a choke point. See how many units, I was just seeing how many units he actually had there, and I see 3 of them. So even though I'm a little damaged. Where are these guys? These guys are going to come repair. Yeah, so they're going to repair this tank here. Second T-34 is out, and we're just going to smash this guy. Lipton has taken the center back. Jimmy is pushing back up on the north. As Nick. Okay, now he's upgrading. That's good. And by the way, these are the cheapest infantry in the game. Or actually, wait, I think, hold on. Where's Jimmy? Maybe the rear echelons are cheaper. No, yep, definitely. So my infantry is the cheapest in the game, these common engineer squads. Oh, look at me helping out Lipton because his tank is injured. I did not understand that move of sacrificing the Kupowagen. I guess he was scouting. Not sure. So I know it seems a little crazy, but Lipton has his tank over here too. So now we're all set for a push here. And he hears tanks moving, is going to push up with his units. Priority target is going to be these guys here. Lipton's going to flank around in the north. And yeah, we are. Look at that. 2 squads wiped out with 1 shot there. Will we lose 3 squads? Probably not. Knowing. Wait, Lipton's right there. I'm gonna chase these guys all the way back home. I'm telling my tanks, I'm like, come on, you can finish them off. They lose them in the fog of war. Look at that, one man in each of these squads here. Honestly, pretty sad. Now, I would have loved to push back and wipe out those squads, but see, there's another tank on the field here. I have the advantage. I wiped out my opponent on this side. It's more important right now to kind of get my tanks back and secure this area once again before something else comes out. I get Fausted behind enemy lines and just lose a tank. They're fighting this side, popping lots of smoke, actually. Jimmy has some from the Ardennes offensive here. Ardennes Assault is what they call that campaign. He's using HE against the Lukes, which is doing no damage. And they have a reinforcement point up here. Wow. They can just reinforce their units. We need some heavy artillery on that position there, actually. So I'm going to start capturing these points back here. We can always take... I lost a PTRS. Did I lose a squad? I think I lost a squad here, actually. Now, one thing I failed to take into account is that my opponent had the light infantry Jaeger units, whatever they were called. Look at that. Lipton's better run. So, he can actually pop out of buildings, just like the Fallschirmjägers. I almost think it would better serve... I like how purple... Yeah. I almost think it would better serve us if Jimmy and Nick during this match had actually just shifted completely center. Barbed wire this off, put some mines down, and say, fine, whatever, we'll just hold the center. Then we'd have, you know, 3 in the center against them. And I just destroyed that house. It was kind of bothering me, even though I killed my mine there. I have a Katusha now. I'm hoping to help out in the center here. Now, this is a dangerous spot to build these things. First of all, this one's backwards. Second of all, they are very, very close here. They can be hit by artillery. They's getting bombarded once again by the OKW. Looks like he lost a unit or two. Katusha's going in, hoping to get a kill or two. They managed to pull back. Zilpa and I are working pretty well on this side here. Katusha's here still. Tanks are kind of on this side. I'm putting down... I put down a lot of mines here, actually. I put a lot. There's like 4 or 5 mines here. No, some of those are these are Liptons. Now, a Molotov would very much serve my purpose here, but I need the fuel, honestly, for right now. Then again, it's very cheap. The thing is, I only have... If I had multiple squads of conscripts with that, I would definitely use it, but I have the penal troops as my backbone of my army. I should really get the fuel in for me. I'm floating a lot of manpower right now. I've been trying in more recent games to really make sure I don't float resources. It's one thing to save up, but I shouldn't really have 1,000. I'm getting sniped by him. And I'm going to actually get Fausted here, which is going to be devastating. If he moves up. I have this tank to kind of cover my injured tank here. And I will absolutely throw a satchel charge on him if he's not careful. And he sees that, so he's going to fall back. So that basically saved my T-34 there. Lipton has his 2 Cromwells. It's gone this side here. Jimmy is going to finish off this. Can you see? Ooh. Lots of AT on this side. And he got finished off by the Stug that just flanked around. I don't know if that was a perfect trade or not, but it's definitely not a bad thing to take out an Oswin. Now, where the hell did he flank from? Come from the center? I'm surprised the Nick's not throwing a grenade. Oh, he double pinned there. Slipton and I are definitely pushing on this side. I would love to get behind the enemy lines here. Meanwhile, we're repairing our tanks here. I have a T-34-85 coming out now. I'm just going to be getting the T-34 rush here, basically. Point blank, they're not... The Lewis guns are not doing that much damage, I've noticed, than they used to. I'm trying to trap my opponent here. If I can just get here, I'm going to get it off, and he's screwed now. He's out to charge off, and even if I take a little bit of damage... Yeah, his tank should be gone here in a second. Katusha's going down. His tank's actually abandoned here. I need to fall back. Or not, actually. Maybe I can just... Something is hitting me there. Oh, I'm trying to take out his headquarters there. Do I have another tank coming up? He does do damage to me, so I do have to be careful and ready for another... I'm going to pull back my tank. It's at high veterancy here. I think I can finish this off with... He's repairing his own headquarters before moving up to protect his allies' headquarters, so that's pretty bad. T-34-85 is up here now. I'm just going to try to destroy this if I can. What's going on up here? I'm losing a couple squads here. I realize I left the tank. I'm fighting on this side. I'm fighting in the north. I realize I left this tank. So I'm going to just fire and make sure it's dead.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Or they just man that. I guess that worked out. He lost 4 men. He has to reinforce now. We have heavy artillery on our base now. Where all my units are here trying to repair, which is not good. I don't know where this is. Oh, they have a gun right here. So he had 3 squads. These guys all popped out of houses and he upgraded them. So that's kind of frustrating. They're really hurting us on victory points. So I'm realizing this after seeing 3 squads swap out, and I realize I have to kill all the houses here, which is just, it's just 2 little farmhouses up, well, farmhouse and a shed. So I can definitely do that. And those guys don't have anti-tank, I believe.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Yeah, these guys are light units. They're not meant for anti-tank operations. But loving the penal troops. They're doing quite well. So not much is happening. Nick has a tank out, which is good. Nick's made a lot of progress here. He killed the bunker here. They put 2 more bunkers up, though, and they're just... Oh, that's not good. That is a shame. Nick lost his tank. Maybe it... Ooh, they have a... Sturmpans. Oh, it's a broom bar. So I just wiped out his troops, and you can see I'm just going to start destroying the buildings here. You can see all the tanks turn at once and just... This building should be killed. This guy can actually capture territory, I realize that, but I have my 2 engineers up here, and you can see he didn't... Oh, he did trigger. He must have just come from over here then. I put down a Stormvic somewhere around here, I think. Yeah, that's my Air Force here. We also have the Royal Air Force. Yeah, they're just... Oh, let's go down here. Purple big attack. Yeah, Propulsion Maker spam. Oh, Nick has the Crocodile out. Great counter. Run, Nick. With your vet guy. Oh no, he's dead. He might actually... He's going to wipe out these squads here if they're not careful. Look at Nick. Beautiful use of the Crocodile here. Now, if you just wipe out... Nice, he got both squads. So he wiped out... That was a pretty bloody engagement there. They both lost a lot of units. I now have a tank coming on this side. Oh, it's an OS one. Yeah, that Oswin is not going to get away. So I think red is just trying to bother me on this side, making me keep some units over here. By the way, if you're on this side of the map on Hill 331, this is a great spot to put a machine gun, especially if you have a... Got him. And especially if you have to defend this area. Put down some sandbags or something if you're the British or the... pretty much anyone. They really need Katusha support over here. I'm not using my Katusha as well as I could. Big attack on this side here. Nick's Crocodile leading the way. Excellent kills here. Just going after their headquarters here, their flak truck. And heavy British artillery coming down here. Nick's trying to keep that flamethrower center here. And they are great comeback from Nick here. They're absolutely massacring them. Their problem is they're going to get hit by the broom bar in the middle. And those are priests, not artillery. Those are jimmies. I hope Nick is reinforcing here. So that headquarters down, but they have a King Tiger pushing up, trying to save their own headquarters here. And I think Nick sees this. And needs to get the hell back. There's a King Tiger there. I know the headquarters is worth it, but I don't know if it's worth a Crocodile. It might be though. Depends how much fuel Nick has. Nope, it's... Wait, that's not... Yeah, Nick can't replace this. He had 20 infantry kills though, or 18 infantry kills in 2 buildings. So it might have paid for itself. Those are expensive Fallschirmjägers.
We've lost a Crocodile flamethrower tank.
But as Nick made a good push here, Orange with the AT guns absolutely shredded Nick's position here. One thing they're both lacking is AT on this side. And oh, look at me. I'm behind enemy lines, taking down a Panther. Someone called down heavy artillery here. You know, I'm trying to wipe out a Vet 5 squad, and will I do it? Nope. Yep, Vet 5 squad wiped out. I'm just trying to finish off. Look at that. He has a very veteran thing right here. I'd love to get a satchel on him if I can flank around. And this is when Pink decides to rage quit. And I have something's coming down here, and I see 3 of my tanks grouped up. It is time to back the hell up. And I'm trying to run my units around.
Another vehicle has been lost in the defense of Aberdeen.
So I got hit by that artillery point blank with that artillery there, and this guy turned around. So that was devastating. I lost both my tanks, but thankfully I have the manpower, and I can grab 2 more T-34-85s here. Now, when your tank is on prioritized vehicle, this gun will not shoot at infantry unless you tell it to. So you always say free fire could be a good thing. I'm trying to I was trying to outflank here, and I don't know what I was doing. I'm gonna lose this tank here though. I was trying to kind of get eyes on this for someone's artillery, and it's pretty devastating. Nick does not have any troops on the field. Yeah, he lost everything. He has nothing. So he has to rebuild. He's getting a tank now. He's got to rely on Jimmy for infantry. So King Tiger's on the hill. That'll make it basically impossible to take this hill back. And they have an elephant. So I don't know what red... Oh, all Red's troops are here. Red has totally shifted off of me. So that's why... Yeah, this is Katusha. I kind of forgot about it. This position would be a great one to hit, actually, Katusha. I think I fired recently at it. Actually got some kills there, too. Lipton also is a Crocodile now, and this is the double ATs here. That could be a problem, even if Lipton does push forward here. Gotta be careful. Nice use of the priest to pound these positions here. I'm just worried that Lipton can get Fausted if he's not careful. And then he'd be stuck in front of these AT guns here. And there's an elephant, so Lipton's going to need to fall back from this current engagement here. And these guys engine Fausted. And that was devastating. This orange and purple have been playing very well this game. He's actually not even a max rank. Good for him. So we could be fighting wreck our opponents on this side, but unless we take the center back, it doesn't matter. They have an OS one here we do have to worry about. And now we're down to 100 points. This is bad. But the good news is these guys have the AT package here. And I thought they wouldn't do almost friendly fire on them, but they don't seem to care. Now we have a Luke's over here cutting through the barbed wire. This is AI control, just keep that in mind. So I'm going to have to push the Katusha up and the tanks back to protect it, in case you want to loop around. I did manage to now kill that, which is good. It's tough fighting on this side. Look at this guy running away from me. It's definitely tough fighting on this side. They have a very strong position here. Even side armor on this because it's veterancy too. So good combination of the anti-tank and the broom bar anti-infantry there. Artillery's coming down from Lipton's base. And I see these guys coming up and I'm like, oh, that could be bad. They're attacking up here again, but I have a penal and troop to stop this. I don't want us to go down. We're actually winning our victory points to manage to take the center back. I would just put a bunch of mines here, honestly. Have Nick put some mines down if he tries to move in. I have close air support. We definitely want to take out this gun. I think this guy went with defense, so let's take a look at it. Yeah, he went with the fortification, so he does have the artillery and the anti-tank, the Pack 43, I think, or is it the Pack 40? I always got them confused. I think this is a Pack 40. Yeah, and that was a Pack 43. They're dropping paratroopers on me. I'm putting down some mines. Yeah, that's not... At least I can put... Someone's calling down something right here. The elephant isn't very mobile. I managed to lose that squad. Yeah, they're definitely... This is very, very close. Nick is coming in with the Cromwells, though. It's devastating Red's forces here. And I'm not sure going forward did that guy anything. Nick is kind of stuck on this AT gun here, though, and he's going to wipe out the vet, too. That will get rid of its ability for target weak point. Will Nick actually take this guy out, though? If not, that's a huge mistake. That cost him his tank there, actually. Well, my tanks are dealing with this tank over here. Probably should have been in the middle. Lipton, if you have those rockets, that'd be a nice time to use them there if you had them. Meanwhile, Elephant is down thanks to Lipton. He's been using his tanks very well in this game. And even though they've taken the point back temporarily, I gotta get my tank and go up there and finish off those forces. I like how cool this broom bar looks at the veterancy. I have all penals now. Can't even repair my units now. I'm going to be rushing everything up this hill here. However, they've lost their tanks. The field's been taken by Nick and Jimmy. They're holding the victory point on the right side. Nothing wrong with that. And that's when our opponents decide to surrender. So going to our opponents here, the kills and deaths. I probably lost a lot of men. I went negative, the only one on the team, but that's what you do with the Russians. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next episode. Cut from N221, signing off.